Shabbat Shalom and good morning. This is a very special Shabbat, not only for our congregation, but for our community. We want to recognize the efforts for our Stand Together Combating Antisemitism and Hate Committee, our co-chairs Mike Meckler and Michael Rabovsky, and many committee members that have worked tirelessly almost about a year to plan this weekend, our lead staff, Shani Kadis, and all of those who have helped to contribute to make this weekend so successful, all of our endowments within our own congregation and our co-sponsors and partners from across the community. We're grateful for all that you do to be able to provide this weekend for our own synagogue community as well as the larger community. In a moment, we're going to hear from one of our keynote speakers, and that is Tanya Gersh. And Rabbi Jacobs already alluded to her story, a realtor and soccer mom who became a lead fighter against anti-Semitism in America. And we've been connected to Tanya for many years through Shani Kadis and through a Dayton, Ohio connection. But Tanya's story is a story of one person who made a big difference. And we're going to hear from Tanya, who's not a rabbi, who's not an academic, who's not someone who has studied the history of anti-Semitism, not a geopolitical thinker, but one single Jew, a Yid, who stood up against hate and who took action and rallied a community together, rallied a country together, and rallied a world together to stand together. So it's my distinct honor to welcome to our congregation Tanya Gersh.
Hi. You know, in 2016, I got a phone call from my husband. It was at night. I was out with some friends, and he said, "Tanya, you need to come home in a hurry." And this was really unlike him. I could tell it was pretty intense, so I got home in a hurry. And I got home, and all the lights in the house were off. I couldn't see any lights, and our front door was locked. And I live in Montana. I don't even own a key to my house. I couldn't get in, and I knocked on my door, and my husband came down, and he let me in. And he rushed me upstairs. He said, "I have to show you something." And I was so nervous. The house was dark. And I said, "Judah, what's happening?" And he said, "I need to show you something." And he opened my laptop, and sitting on the bed was my laptop with my face and a swastika on my forehead. And I was so confused. I said, "What is this?" He said, it's a Nazi website, Tanya." And I said, "Nazi website? There's still Nazi websites?" I had no idea. I was so naive. And I said, "It must be some kind of joke." He's like, "No, this is not a joke, Tanya. This website has 300,000 followers." I'm like, "No, you've got to be kidding." Well, there was my face with a swastika on my forehead, and it said, "Hey friends, are you ready for an old-fashioned troll storm? We're gonna make her life a living hell. We can kill her without touching her because we're going to drive her to the brink of suicide." And they published my contact information. They published my home address. They published my cell number, and they published the information of my 12-year-old son. And they said, "Go get them." And that's what they did. They made our lives a living hell for months and months and months and months. But you know what? They mess with the wrong family. I got lucky because I remembered that what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Because I had celebrated Purim ever since I was a little girl, and I had Queen Esther to look up to. And I remembered, I don't have to take this. SPLAC also showed up at my doorstep and helped us sue them And we won, and we shut them down. If you want to know, if you want to know how I ended up on the website, you'll have to watch the movie tomorrow, later, not tomorrow, tonight. This was terrible, obviously. I can stand up here and smile and make light of the situation, but it was awful. But there are three really, really important things that I want to share with you today that I learned through my pain and through my healing. Number one, fighting helped me heal. As soon as I could talk about it, as soon as I could do something about it, I started to feel a lot better. Number two, we need to be good people. I could have easily brushed this under a rug and made it all go away and pretended like it didn't happen. But I realized, we need to hear something that we're not going to want to hear, and that anti-Semitism is real. Anti-Semitism is not going away anytime soon. And we, as the Jewish people, are on the front lines right now. I mean, I don't have to tell you this. I'm preaching to the choir, aren't I? But we need to stop looking at for the logic in all of this craziness. And we just need to realize that we are on the front lines, so we need to be good people. It's actually really, really simple. This means we need to do our jobs as Jewish people. We need to think with compassion and love with compassion, and remember that we are not defined by the people who hate us. We are defined by the people who love us and the people we love. If you don't remember anything I said today, please remember that. We are not defined by the people who hate us. We are defined by the people we love. And look at the love I have in my life, and look at the love. You're all here to hear me, a mom from Montana, speak today. These haters tried to take me down, but what they did was create somebody with so much power and so much light that I am not going to stop talking about this. So much so that they made a movie about it. And it's going to play, and people are going to watch it. Now, when I say we need to be good people, this is what I mean. When you're in line at the supermarket and someone's being really slow, they forgot their credit card, be nice. We're on the front lines. I need you all to set a really good example for who we are as Jewish people right now. This means you. This means you. This means you. Be the people we are supposed to be. Be the people that that God has asked us to be, and that's people of compassion and of love, who think about other people before we think about ourselves even. We feed the poor from our mouths. The other thing I really want to share is, through the years of traveling and speaking and talking about anti-Semitism, I realized how much we as the Jewish people perpetuate our own anti-Semitism. Crazy enough, after I speak, people come up to me and they'll say, "Oh, Tanya, hi, nice to meet you. Oh, yeah, I'm Jewish, but I'm not like that Jewish." How many times have you experienced that? Like, I'm not like Jewish like them. Like, I'm not like that Jewish. I'm like a bagels and lox Jew. So I started to think about this. This has really started to wear on me. And I realize how, as the Jewish people, we're not so proud all the time. Well, and I'm telling you what, right now, this is the moment to be proud of being a bagels and lox Jew. You are Jewish enough, and they are Jewish enough, and they are not too Jewish. Please, I beg you, we will not ever end the problem of anti-Semitism until we stop perpetuating it ourselves. I would like to, I'd like to end by thanking you for thanking me. No, for thanking you for showing up. Everyone sitting in this room is here because they haven't abandoned us. And as we all have family at home that aren't here today, I'm hoping that you'll tell them my story about this mom who was so naive to there being any kind of hate in the world. I'm from Montana. I grew up in Idaho. Did you know I've never even been told a Jewish joke in my life before this happened? But this mom came and stood up, and she was proud. She was so proud of being Jewish that she somehow managed to make a difference and change the world. That means you can do it too. Thank you for being here, and remember again, we are not defined by those who hate us. We are defined by those who love us. And there are so many more people in this world that love us that hate us. Do not get bogged down by the propaganda and the hate that we are experiencing in this world right now. Like I said, we are on the front lines, but it doesn't mean that we are desperate. We have been fighting this fight since the beginning of time. This is old news. And look at how successful we have become at being resilient and being strong. It taught me it wasn't just Queen Esther. It was my Jewish communities and my families and the love in the world that has surrounded me, that has gotten me through this hard time. Amen.